and gentlemen, welcome to another Whisky Wednesday with Murray McDavid. We're trying a little bit of a new technology, so hopefully I'm loud and clear. You can clearly see where I am today. We're trying the old StreamYard. Our social media team have been upping the technology and hopefully making things a little bit easier for us to communicate to you guys. And so, yeah, I'm back here at Colburn up in warehouse number 1. I've selected warehouse 1 today because it's, well, it's half a degree warmer than it is downstairs in warehouse 2. The temperature's telling me that it's just under 5 degrees centigrade down in warehouse 2 at the moment. Slightly gentler, slower style of maturation downstairs. It's where we keep our larger casks also. But to update you what we've been up to this week at Murray McDavid, lots and lots and lots of things going on as always. Never the same. All of the weeks are completely different. We had some wonderful guests come and stay with us at the end of last week over from India. We're in really great discussions to take Murray McDavid to India, which we've never done before. And of course, many of you eagle-eyed whiskey lovers out there would have seen a lot more activity of Scotch whiskey, certainly single malt, starting to make its way over to India, and brands starting to really emerge and explode. I'm not really seeing much activity from independent bottlers, so it's really exciting. It's a really exciting prospect for myself and the team to really really open the world up of appreciation to the Indian whiskey consumers, which is a very new market to Scotch whiskey and all it has to offer. So I'm really looking forward to getting over there, where it won't be 5 degrees centigrade, I'm sure, to spread the word, to show whiskey lovers, new whiskey lovers, old whiskey lovers, the joys of independent bottlers and what that means. Total new discovery. It's fantastic. The guys came over from Mumbai, at the end of last week. Stayed with us at Dallas Do House over in Forest, where a few of us hosted, entertained, of course, whiskey tastings, and we had a really lovely fine dining evening, which was actually a good rehearsal for our fine dining evening for the Spirit of Speyside Festival. Of course, nice little segue there. Just 55 days to go, ladies and gentlemen. There will be no sleep until Speyside. Not to rip off the that slogan from Mitch. Apologise there if that's been trademarked, but there won't be a lot of sleep until Speyside for the Murray McDavid team. That's for sure. So many events happening. Lots of little bits of preparation to finish off for some of these evenings, and the fine dining being one of them. The rehearsal was great the other night. A few little tweaks on the whiskies, I think, to pick the food, but that's always the trickiest part, in my opinion, is justifying or balancing the quality of food to drams, but also how the whiskies and food works together. Always an interesting debate. Some people really don't like the comparisons of food and whiskey together, or the enjoyment of whiskies and food together, but there's definitely ways of doing it. And if you want to explore more of that, then we've got a few fine evenings of food and drams at Dallas Do House over the Spirit of Speyside. So check out the website, read a little bit of information on there, and book along. So I mentioned the temperature. It's still a little bit miserable out there. The 1st of March today. I was hoping to draw the curtains this morning and, you know, all of the lush land being green, all of the wildlife now coming out of hibernation or coming back into full life. But we're a little way off. We've said goodbye to February. We're into March, but you know, in a few weeks we'll really be rocking and rolling into what we've been craving for, and that's spring in the air. You know, that's what we're really looking forward to. Lots of new releases to come with spring, lots of new whiskey cocktail ideas which Dan and the team are working on in the background. And yeah, Cask Craft batch number 2 is still going through the bottling halls at the moment. Nice to hear reports from the sales guys that some of the product lines from Cask Craft batch 1 have now sold out completely, much quicker than I was anticipating, which is amazing to hear, but also a little bit terrifying. Because of course, you know, these stocks, you know, they need time. The spirit needs time in casks. So if we sell these things through too quickly, then, you know, we're going to start getting a little bit itchy about some of those single malts not being in cask long enough. But that's my job to make sure going forward, strategizing that spirit is in cask for as long as it needs to be, so that we can meet the balance of spirit in oak with the Cask Craft series. The port finish, I think I might have mentioned before, that's really one to look out for with the Ben Rennis. That's going to be a real treat. And for you sherry lovers, we've got a slightly different offering in batch number 2. Batch number 1 was straight Oloroso finish. From a spirit known as Strathdown, from an undisclosed distillery, formerly one of the largest distilleries in Scotland, largest producing distilleries just south of Inverness. And if you follow the River Findhorn, you'll come close enough to the distillery. You can actually see it as I'll be flying on my way back home down to Gloucestershire. I'll be flying from Inverness down to Bristol, and I always give it a little wave from the plane. As sad as that sounds, but wonderful distillery, really rich, creamy style of distillate that matures beautifully in Oloroso. That was batch number 1. Batch number 2, we've evolved it ever so slightly. So it's not a single malt from this distillery by the River Findhorn. It's a Highland malt from Tullibardine, and we've introduced Pedro Jimenez sherry cask maturation to that, as well as the Oloroso. So we're bottling something a lot more indulgent, I'll say. More of those kind of chocolatey praline notes within the spirit. Wonderful, very, very quaffable, very enjoyable. And those are going to be, I think those are going to be hitting the shelves towards the middle to end of April. And of course, that's going to be a very, very busy time with the Spirit of Speyside, not to mention our UK exclusive bottlings. So there's going to be whiskies coming from all facets of Murray McDavid, which yeah, it's going to be a real treat, a real joy. So in other big news, not just whiskey being bottled, not just events being planned for Spirit of Speyside, we've got a really new development, an interesting development for you guys who want to get a little bit closer to Murray McDavid in terms of maybe having a little peek behind the curtain of what we're doing here at Colburn. It might even be a little peek into what we're doing at our much larger warehouses at Royal Brackler Distillery, which I will show you on one of these Whisky Wednesdays in the coming weeks. Very, very different environment to what we're seeing here at Colburn. And actually, that's where our Cask Craft range are being produced. Whereas here at Colburn, generally, it's where our Mission Gold stocks are held, and some of our more high-end benchmark single malts. But yeah, I'll show you Brackler at a future point. There might also be snippets of a bottling hall down at Danderleith, just opposite the turning up to McAllen, up here in Speyside. And where you can get this information, this little look behind the curtain, is if you look up on Facebook, if you look up the Murray McDavid Whisky Club and ask to join, then you'll become a member of this kind of insider group where you'll get insights into deeper information to the brand, some behind the scenes shots, but also whiskey tastings. We're going to be doing, hosting a whole range of whiskey tastings, and we've actually just announced one today. So if you're quick, go over to our Facebook, look up the Murray McDavid Whisky Club, and at 7 p.m. this evening, all you need to do is like the post and comment clacking a coin on the post itself, and then you'll be entered into the chance to win a tasting set, which I'll be hosting, of 4 whiskies from the Cask Craft range, and that'll be happening later this month. I think it's the 23rd at 7:30 p.m. All the information's on the post, so go check it out. If you want free access to some amazing whiskies, not just on this first tasting, we're going to be hosting many more going forwards that will explore our wider ranges, our upcoming releases, and of course, being a member of the Murray McDavid Whisky Club, it will give you access to things like free tours up here at Colburn and various discounts going forwards on products and things like that. So yeah, it's a nice little thing to be a part of, and yeah, looking forward to working with Olivia and Ali to really make sure that that's been kept up to date with really interesting content. Speaking of Olivia and Ali, they were up here last week. For any of you eagle-eyed social media warriors out there, you might have seen certainly Liv posting some behind-the-scenes shots. She took a cracking shot. You'll have to go check out her whiskey Instagram page downstairs in the bottom corner, which I called the weird and wonderful corner here at Colburn. Downstairs, beautifully atmospheric shot, which I was quite annoyed about. It's a third visit here at Colburn, and he takes a cracking shot like that. I mean, I've been working here 8 years, and that picture, I don't think I've got a picture better than that. So yeah, Liv and Ali came up last week to capture lots of new content. And yeah, look out for that over the coming weeks and months. There's going to be a lot more activity, not just on our Murray McDavid pages, but across the ACO Spirits brands as well. If you're not familiar with those, definitely go check them out. We've got some really lovely brands being developed, which are designed more to be the more accessible everyday drinking styles of spirits, not just whiskey. Of course, we have gin, vodka, rum, and yeah, I mean the rum brand Iguana, currently developing brand extensions for that. So that's going to be really wonderful to explore in the coming months as that gets released. We'll post more about that when everything's bottled and we're in good order to release. But yeah, lots going on, lots of tasty things to enjoy. So yes, 55 days. We're counting down until the Spirit of Speyside Whiskey Festival, and last week we've finally confirmed all but one of our official bottlings. We're doing quite a lot in collaboration with local retailers, bars, And we have a very special whiskey being bottled for our Drams Under the Stars event up at the old Bothy. And I mean, if you guys came along to that last year, you'll still feel the heat from that fire, which was fueled by whiskey staves. Whoa, that really put out some heat. If you still got, well, I mean, it would have taken your eyebrows off if you got too close. We had the marshmallows on the go. We had live music from a legendary balladeer. And this year we're going to be exploring alternative music options, bringing a little bit more knees up energy. The whiskey's going to be flowing, and hopefully those northern lights that, I mean, not just spread across Speyside here, but actually I think they were viewing it down on the south coast of England. Those things were so bright, quite stunning. Hopefully those things turn up over the festival. How amazing would that be? Really quite incredible. Melissa, who's our events manager, if you haven't booked it, get it sorted. We need to get those. We need to get those. But some events that we are just going to be promoting a little bit more over the coming week or two is one that's dear to my heart, of course, the blending workshop with myself over at Dallas Dew House. And that's going to be a look behind the curtain, really hands-on approach to an event as well. We will have 6 different cask samples, single malts, young, mature, refill hogsheads, first fill casks, and of course we'll have grain whiskey on there as well. We'll have single malt, peated, unpeated. So it's going to be a real exploration of character, not just flavor, but texture. How can we use age as a benefit of blending within blending in cask as well? So it's going to be a real exploration of of how to put together a good solid blend. And of course, we're going to be tasting each component. I'm going to be doing a bit of a breakdown of things to look out for in terms of blending a dry whiskey with a sweeter style. Texture is going to be really important in that conversation as well. Age is going to be a big factor. But yes, the blending workshop, and of course, you get to walk away with your very own creation, which yes, is a special event. We've still got moderate tickets to that left, available on the Spirit of Speyside website. So yeah, check it out. And if you do want to have a bit more of an insight into the world of blending whiskey, certainly it's what we've been doing at Murray McDavid in small batches, small interesting batches over the past 8 years. It'll be great to have you and get your mixology caps on and really start thinking about flavor and the comings together. And it should be a real enjoyable experience, a delicious experience, as they always are with Murray McDavid. Although he's not here with me today at Colburn, he's over at Brackla with the rest of the team. Jason, our Cooper, he will be here at Colburn in the filling store, and he's going to be welcoming groups to build their own casks, to raise a cask with a fully qualified Cooper. We've got 2 sessions that are sold out. The Saturday session, I think we've got maybe 3 tickets left on that one. So that's the one to really come and enjoy. I'm hoping that I'm going to be there for that one as well. So it'd be really good to see the team in action on that. So yeah, go check it out on the Spirit of Speyside website. If any of those things tickle your fancy, then get booked on before those tickets go. And speaking of events, of course, there are more, although it doesn't feel like it right now. for us at Murray McDavid, there are other events happening, other whiskey events. This weekend, our energetic, monstrously tall brand ambassador Dan Hendry, local guy to Colburn up here. Although he's, I think he might be working his way around the whiskey bars of Edinburgh this week. He's going to be going down to Birmingham to present some of our whiskies at the Birmingham Whiskey Festival. And yeah, if you're in the Midlands, do not miss the Murray McDavid stand, because Dan, I know he's got some really wonderful drams to show you guys, including our core releases. I think he might even have a Cask Craft or two there as well. But make sure you look out for, I mean, I've always got a soft spot for Linkwood, but I think he's got our 9-year-old Linkwood in the Benchmark series, which has been finished in Oloroso Sherry. Very indulgent dram, lovely balance between that light style of fruity spirit with the almost, yeah, kind of chocolatey, slightly dark chocolate bitterness that presents in that dram as well. A little bit of nuttiness. Lovely dram. Just 9 years of age, so it's, you know, it's a wonderful example of the balance of spirit and first fill wood being used. Excellence in the art of maturation, some would say. So go check that out. And if you ask him really nicely, I mean, Dan's susceptible to a smile. So go up to him, give him a good old smile, and ask for a Tormore, because that will be one of our under the table drams. You can, I mean, I'm not sure if I should be touting this out, but yeah, go up to him. It's an under the table dram, and yeah, just a little smile, give him a little wink, and say, Dan, I know what you got under that table. It's the 26-year-old Tormore in our Mission Gold series, and that would have actually been maturing in Stowe, just behind these Tormore, just behind me here, with these Tormores, and initially filled into refill bourbon hogsheads, which these are behind me. And what we would have done is re-racked those, taken the spirit out of those refill bourbon hogsheads and filled them into separate casks. So one would have been filled into an Oloroso Sherry hogshead, and the other was first fill Pedro Jimenez Sherry. And they would have been maturing here at Colburn for another 3 years, developing color, flavor, and character. And I remember a couple of years ago when assessing these, monitoring the developments that were going on inside the casks, thinking that, you know, yes, they both have qualities that shine in different areas, but I think to create an interesting, balanced, still fresh style of whiskey. I mean, the Tormore spirit really still shines through, even after 3 years in the finishing casks. Bringing those two sherry casks together to create, you know, a really unique and wonderful dram. So Dan's got that under the counter at Birmingham Whiskey Festival this weekend. So yeah, go check him out and get a dram of that Tormore. It's well, I think it might be one of 2 festivals that we take it to this year. We might also be taking it to Whiskey Live London on the 1st of April. Oh God, that makes me think. Social media guys, we need to have a think of all of the April Fool's pranks that we can play on the unbeknown guests to the Whiskey Live Festival. Get your thinking caps on. We can have some fun. Yeah, that could be fun. So yes, we're going to be at Whiskey Live in London at the 1st of April. We'll probably do a little tour of some whiskey bars as well. So if you're in the area for that event, let us know, and yeah, maybe we could hang out in London and yeah, spread the word of Murray McDavid and give you a bit more of an insight into what we're up to. So, I mean, that's in a nutshell, really what we've been up to over the past week. A little insight into some events that we've got coming up. Just trying to have the final think here. I mean, here at Colburn, I mean, looking in camera, it doesn't look too sparse, but there's a lot of activity going on over the coming weeks. Although the guys are over at Colburn at the moment, they're actually filling our fresh batch of Koval casks that have come all the way from Chicago. So our Koval bourbon barrels and our little Koval quarter casks, 110 litre bulk litre casks there. They're over at Brackler filling those for the future generations of actually a new project we've got in development. It's not a Murray McDavid product, but it's one that I have been excited about for the past, 2 years really, as we've been lying down stock. A little bit unexpected. It's not a single malt product. It's not a blended malt product. I can feel myself stepping into dangerous territory, so I'm going to cut that short because I know the design team are going to be pulling their hair out over the thought of me giving away too many spoilers. So yeah, there's a really big project waiting in the wings that is slightly radical. And of course, you know, being a radical project, of course, you know, I like being at the center of that. And I really can't wait to launch it to the world because yeah, it's different. It's different, but it's going to be delicious. So yeah, the guys are over at Brackler today filling those casks, and they'll be here over the coming weeks rolling back in casks that have come out of stow. There's been a lot of casks going out for repair, reconditioning, and so by the time that you guys come and visit us during the Spirit Speyside Festival, all of the stows will be nicely filled and all of the casks will be looking top dollar. So yeah, ladies and gents, thanks for tuning in for another week. I'm really hoping this StreamYard has worked and I haven't been talking to myself for the last half an hour, which I often do anyway, so it's fine. I'll be back next week with a very special colleague who is a part of the Whisky Creations team, Amanda Biscombe, who, yeah, we're going to be talking about all sorts. But until then, I will bid you farewell. Stay warm, stay safe, and keep on dramming. Cheers, folks. Take care.